I'm Michael, and this is Carelifornia. And although the next stimulus package is still being negotiated, Congress is up against a timeline because they only have up until August 7th, which is this Friday, to vote before they go on to their summer recess. But if they do come to an agreement this week, Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin says about stimulus checks, I could have them out immediately. So today we're going to look at what are some of the potential timelines that the next stimulus checks could be in our hands and what may cause them to be delayed. Now this is your 5-minute daily dose, so let's make this quick. But before we do that, if you like this information, if you find it interesting, if you find it helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you can get updates when our newest and most informative videos become available. Given the nature of negotiations, there's no way to know exactly how long it takes for Congress to come to an agreement. But what we do know is the deadlines that are already set. Additionally, we have the time frame from the CARES Act, the first stimulus check, that we can use as a guideline to how long the whole process to getting checks out might actually take. So in the first possibility, the Senate proposed their HEREOS Act on July 27th. In this case, where the negotiations go right up to the August recess deadline, August 7th, it means that they'll have between 7 and 9 days from July 27th to get something passed. So now, in order for them to get a bill passed by the end of this week, the Senate would need to pass a bill by August 6th, that's Thursday. This would give the House another day to look it over and get it passed by Friday, and that would be August 7th. If this happens, then it could go to the President's desk, who, if he signs it by August 10th, that would mean that we would get the first check sent out by August 17th. 7 to 10 business days for post to get them into your mailboxes, and then we would start seeing the checks by the end of August. The second scenario assumes that Congress still tries to fight it out, playing chicken with each other and American lives for political gain. In this case, they cannot pass anything until they get back from recess on September 8th. So if the Senate can pass the bill right on September 8th, right when they get back, then give the House 1 day to approve, September 9th, and then the President signs it September 10th or 11th, checks will start getting sent out September 21st. Add 2 weeks to get to people's mailboxes, so basically we wouldn't see any checks until the end of September. This second situation is obviously the least good option because it would leave people who were relying on the protections from the CARES Act that expired last week to sweat it out for essentially 2 more months before they can get their stimulus checks and any renewed protections put back in place. Luckily, despite the delays that may come from actually passing a bill, there shouldn't be as long of a delay for this round of stimulus checks as there was for the first one. This is for a couple reasons. The first of which is that the system for sending out checks and verifying eligibility are already in place. The last time around, they were developing these policies and these procedures and these mechanisms to get those checks out. This time around, it's already set in place. There's already a playbook to follow. Another thing that will allow for a quick turnaround for these checks is that check amounts and eligibility rules under the HEREOS Act are essentially the same as they were under the CARES Act, at least under the current provisions. So once the Senate, the House, and the White House can get their act together and get a bill passed, stimulus checks should come out relatively quickly. At this point, there's really only a few reasons why stimulus checks would be delayed. The first and most obvious is that the Senate and the House trying to work out a bill, trying to figure out which provisions to include and which ones to exclude. But also the White House, who has a big incentive to get its provisions included in this bill as well, given the fact that it's an election year and the President can use all the wins that he can get. But the President could put the brakes on this whole process if he's too willing to sacrifice things that Senate Republicans want in this bill. So something like maybe liability protections for businesses or adding extra unemployment benefits, which the President has said he's willing to do to get the bill passed. This would be a big departure from the Senate since liability protections and no extra unemployment benefits are something that Mitch McConnell and the Republicans are really adamant about. All that being said, I still believe there's more pushing our government to getting this proposal passed than stopping it. The President needs at least 1, if not 2 more stimulus checks to try to revive his falling public opinion polls. The Republican Senate, they need liability protections to reduce budgets to force kids back to school and states to reopen their economies. And Democrats, they need additional resources for their food programs, eviction protections, and money for state and local governments. So given that perspective, it would be conceivable that they would have a deal ready by the end of this week, or perhaps maybe even forego their summer recess in order to get something that is this important to all parties accomplished. This has been your 5-minute daily dose, and I hope that you found it interesting or helpful or at least useful. And if you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you can get updates when our newest and most informative videos become available. Also, we here at Carelifornia, we know health insurance. So if you have any questions about your health insurance, leave those down below. We'll be happy to make a new video or a new post for that as well. Now, other than that, I'm Michael, and this is Carelifornia, wishing you a happy, healthy day.